Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Shout out to everybody out there on Team BANKPOUND, man. I appreciate the love. Boom, 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 boom. Appreciate the support. Do, man. I really do appreciate it, man. Big love to everybody out there who's been rocking with me. Big love to everybody who's been supporting me on all platforms and all things Team BANKPOUND Nation. Appreciate the love, man. Big fight night last night, man. Big fight night last night. Hope y'all caught them fights, man. Today, man, I wanted to talk to y'all because I was on live yesterday and I told y'all I was going to get these stories out, man, before y'all get to reminding me. But definitely I wanted to talk to y'all about some of these different, you know, cats, man, that I knew over the years. And as you could probably tell by the title, which I don't know what it is yet, but I know it got it in there, about these New York cats, man. Yeah, man, these New York cats, man. I met a lot of dudes from New York, you know, down here in the system when I was locked up. A whole lot of dudes from New York, man. And, you know, shout out to New York, man. You know, to say the least, man, New York cats is different, man. You know what I'm saying? They different. In a lot of ways, they different. You know what I'm saying? And I never really had too many problems with too many New York dudes, man. Maybe a couple of head bumps or whatever, but I don't think it was due to the fact that they was from New York. I think it was due to the fact of who the cat was specifically. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, them New York dudes, they got a different vibe, man. They got a different swag. You can tell they New York. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times they clash with, with DC brothers, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, but, real recognize real. So if that's what you is, then, it's gonna come to the surface anyway, right? But, down here in the Virginia penal system, man, these New York cats, man, like I said, they was different. I don't know what they was doing but get trapped off down here, but a lot of them was getting trapped off down here in VA, man. And, I ran across many of them doing my bit, man. I'm trying to think now in my mind if there's any other out-of-state people that I ran into more than New York cats. I don't know. I had to do some thinking on that, man. But I do know I ran into a lot of New York cats, man. And like I say, each individual is different. And I can say, though, in characteristics, they got a lot of characteristics that stand out a lot. Obviously, it's the lingo, the way they talk, is definitely, a telltale sign, man. And, like I say, the way they move, too, And in my travels, most of the New York guys that I run into in the system, they either or, you know what I'm saying? And when I mean either or, I mean either they quiet and low-key, don't do a lot of talking, or they boisterous and loud and do extra talking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, son, you know what it is, son? Yeah, I ain't playing no games, son. Either that or they just low-key like, yo, son, I mean, I ain't with that, man. That's mad crazy, son. That's mad crazy. Those type of dudes, man. And for the most part, man, if they was usually locked up, man, to the best of my knowledge, they had to do something with either some drugs, man, or some type of violence, man. You know what I'm saying? So they definitely ain't on the scary end, more than likely, man. They'll put some work in if need be. And what I found out about them New York cats, man, and it took me a minute, man, but I found out about them New York cats is, man, they will spit it out. You understand me? They will spit it out on you, man. And what I mean by that is, and especially I found out the ones that talk real low. And once I found this out, I felt like that's why all of the ones that talk real low, that's why they did it. You know what I'm saying? Because what I mean by spit it out is, man, them New York cats will be talking to you. I mean, regular, I don't know how they do it, do not ask me, man, but the next thing you know, man, if they get in a beef or they be rumbling or something, they done spit a razor out, man, and hey, look, I BS you not, man. Them dudes can carry a razor in their mouth and flip it with their tongue, man. Put the little thing on the front of it that cut the stops it from cutting you. You know, like a little piece that go on the front where it's not. They can have that in their mouth, take that thing off and everything, and whew, bam, and hit you so fast, man, you won't know your whole stuff slit open, wide open, man. So yeah, the first time I seen that, man, it was yeah, it was quite shocking because I ain't know what was going on. I thought he was spitting on the cat. But when you start seeing that blood flowing and you look and yeah, man, and then dude's like, oh, he spit the razor out. He spit the razor out. Yeah, they spit it out, man. They can be talking and chewing gum or drinking water or whatever, and they got this razor in their mouth, man. They got this razor in their mouth, man. I don't know how they do it. And I had one of this little dude, man. I'm crazy because I can't remember his name, and I know his face. I see him and everything, man. And I usually don't forget names like that, but his name was different, and I try to remember that joint, but I was around him for a long time, man. Low key, quiet dude, man. And now I know why. You know what I'm saying? Didn't talk that much. Played a lot of ball, man. He loved to play basketball. And you know, this like in the early mid 90s and stuff. You know, he had them big long dreads. You know what I'm saying? Before all the haircut and stuff came, he had the long dreads. Small frame dude, man. You know, almost size. Like Hollywood Trail. You know, shout out Hollywood Trail. And you know, he was a cool dude, man, but he was far from scared, man. You know, and he always talked low key, woo woo woo, but he liked to play ball. So when you on that basketball court, man, I don't care how humble you is, how meek you is, man, you gonna end up in some type of confrontation because it's basketball. Prison is like basketball / rugby. You know what I'm saying? So there's always something going on that court, man, and there's always some controversy, man, and usually end up in somebody, getting popped in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? If not worse. So yeah, but he stayed on that court, and so every now and then he might get into a little something, but he ain't even do no whole lot of arguing. Dudes might be popping off at him, and he really don't say that much or nothing like that. And man, I can remember, man, he had got into a little altercation with a dude, and they was in the pod, and the altercation had spilled over. It was coming from the court. They still running their mouth, but he not doing a whole lot of talking. So then they came down there, and they was close to the microwave, man. And then when you got tension with somebody in prison, or you got y'all done had words, and that ain't nothing really popped off. It's like boom, everybody waiting for the next person to make a move, and then you might just be walking by each other, and you see each other. It's just that look and that tension. Boom, it pop off that fast. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened with them, man. They you know what I'm saying? They met at the same time at the microwave, man. And I guess they looked at each other, and he said this, he said that, and boom, he swung on him. He swung back, so they tussling and wrestling right there. Everybody looking up at the booth to see if the police see. The police don't see, so they scrambling. So he done grabbed New York by the hair, because he got that long hair, and he just mopping them, slinging them all over. I mean, he slung them up on the table in the pod. Boom, them tables is like steel and make that little noise. So, bang, he hit that joint. I mean, he mopping them because he's a small cat. And dude wasn't huge, but he was bigger than him. And he got him by the hair, so he holding his arms, trying to get him loose for his hair. Man, next thing you know, man, he see him like trying to get this stuff off, and he went down to his mouth. And this is after they tussling, all of this going on. Hit him on the hand, blood just And he come up, and when he came up, he coming at him, caught him right here across the neck. He bagging up, bleeding, and he tried to run. You know what I'm saying? And we were like, what? Yeah, that razor, man, they spit it out. He running, and dude ain't even chasing him. He like, boom, turn around and playing it off, acting like he been in there. But now I'm watching him, you know what I'm saying? Bagging his mouth and everything, and dude is bleeding. Yeah, he cut me. He cut on the hand, and he cut on the neck. You understand? So he definitely got to get up out there because his blood is like coming out through his hands. He's leaking on the neck. And just that fast, man. Them razors, man. He spit that joint out and he had to get up out there. And he was really like dry snitching because as they taking him out, he's telling the people, let me out, I'm bleeding. So she got to call somebody. But she like, what's happening? What happened? I'm bleeding, man. Let me out. But he steady while she calling somebody to let him out, you turning around and you arguing with dude. If you arguing with dude or trying to say stuff to dude, you basically saying, it's him. He did it. You know what I'm saying? You dry snitching. You know what I'm saying? But you brought it on yourself. You know what I'm saying? You brought it on yourself because you went to war or you made a move on somebody and you wasn't prepared for war. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think nobody was prepared for what happened because, you know what I'm saying, he spit that thing out, man, so fast. And even within a tussle, I don't know how they do it. You know what I'm saying? I do not know how they. I remember running into him years later. And when I was in the graphic design class, I had left the prison, came back to the prison, and he was like one of the facilitators in the graphic design zone. And this is like years later, man. You talking about, this was in the 90s, so this is all the way in the 2000s. So, you know, well over a decade and something. And he was still locked up. I was surprised to see he was still locked up, because like I say, he don't really get, he was into something then, but he don't really get into a lot of stuff, man, because he low key, you know. And he was still locked up, you know what I'm saying? And I remember us kicking it and chopping it up in there, and I went to talk to him about that, man. I said, man, you remember when that joint happened, when you spit the razor joint out? We was just, you know, tripping about that or whatever. And I was like, man, how you do that, joint, man? How y'all New York cats be doing? How y'all walk around out there? Y'all be eating, y'all be doing this and doing that, and then y'all got that razor. He was like, man, I grew up knowing that, man. We learned that young, you know what I'm saying? We learned that young, right? I'm like, man, that's crazy, man. And I was like, man, he said, I said, you be beating the shakedown with that joint there? He said, yeah, I have it all the time. They never know. They can't find it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, that's crazy, because sometimes we go through the shakedown and they gonna tell you, you know, hold your ears, open your mouth, do all that. I said, how you... I can't tell you that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, go ahead, man. I said, man, that was crazy, though. I said, you still be doing that, Joe? He was like, yeah. I'm like, what? I'm trying to tell y'all, man, you better watch them New York cats, man. I'm telling you, man, you run up on them and you think something sweet. Next thing you know, you got $1.50 and you leaking. You know what I'm saying? You is leaking. Boom. Lickety split that fast, man. Them dudes tote them razors in their mouth. That's why you see a lot of dudes in New York with them $1.50s and them scars. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, them dudes will have that thing in their mouth and be running their mouth. Because they already know. They ain't got the Bethlehem, but they got that. And it's fast, and it's especially the ones that know what they doing. You know, and yeah, so I mean, you know, I had learned that from him and seeing that. So, you know, you make them mental notes as you moving along in prison. So I always had that mental note, man, when I was talking to a New York cat, like, we got that joint in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna make you think, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, over the years though, man, I ran into a lot of them, man. A lot of New York cats, a lot of different kinds, man. I ran into some, played that basketball real good. A lot of them dudes too, if you run into them from New York, if they really play that ball, a lot of them think they can play it, they really can't play. But the ones who really can play, oh yeah, they was nasty. They was nasty in there with that basketball. I knew a couple of those. I knew one dude, man. I knew a lot of dudes that was locked up. I wonder what happened to him, man. One of them name was Sincere. And yeah, his name was Sincere. And it was crazy because he was like a tall, maybe about 6'2", 6'3", you know, dark-skinned cat with a lot of goals in his mouth. And he loved to play basketball. Loved it, man. He gonna run down to the court all the time and try to get a run. And he could jive play, but not like he couldn't play. You know what I'm saying? But he's gonna get on that court and he talk just like all the way live New York cat. Ain't gonna get mad. He be ready to rumble if somebody trying to fight, and his I guess that's why they called him sincere, cause he'd be like, oh dude, be like, oh man, I'll F you up, man. I don't know who you think you be. He said, nah, you ain't gonna do that to me, son. Nah, son, I promise you, you're not, son. I'm so sincere. I'm so sincere, you won't do that to me, son. You know, so that was his thing, like, I'm so sincere. And man, we used to laugh at him when he used to say that all the time, man. But he was serious. But he was a good dude, man. I used to you know, have good you know what I'm saying, understanding with Sincere, man. But Sincere said, nah, not me, son. No one's gonna do that to me, son. I promise you that, son. I'm so sincere. I'm so sincere. If somebody try to hurt me, son, they going away from here, son. You know, so yeah, he was on that type of tip, man. But and he get that money, you know, which is another thing. Them New York cats, usually they got a hustle. They got a hustle one way or another. In that system, they gonna find their way to that bag, man. You can believe that. Yeah, they find a way to get that dough now. They get that dough, and like I say, most of them hustlers, you know what I'm saying? They grew up hustling, so they hustling by nature. And a lot of them, you know, they get that pack in, man. You know, they get that package in, man. A lot of them, they try to finesse, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of them, too, that got that flammery, that larceny, that skullduggery, you know, that tomfoolery. And, yeah, they always angling, man. They always angling. And you know those kind, though. You know them when you first see them, you know what I'm saying? But I met a few of those, too. And I've had a couple of, I've actually had a couple of New York cellies, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, in fact, I remember I had this Big New York, man. Big New York was my celly one time, man. Briefly and thankfully, you know what I'm saying? Big New York used to be my celly. This is a big cat, man. About 6'4", man. About 260, man. Big old chest. All to do is work out. And he, I spoke about him before, I believe, man. And he, you know, he flat foot hustler, man. He ain't got no whole lot of income coming in or nothing like that. So you know, he make his off the grind, man. You know, he make wine. You know what I'm saying? He pulls some strong arms on people. You know, yeah, he do all that extortion game. You know, that's how he got his grind in, right? But Big New York was a character, man. He was a character in himself, man. And he had that problem with them women, though. You know what I'm saying? He liked the gunning game. If he gone to jail, if he ain't got into no type of physical altercation, he going to jail, you know, for the gunning game, man. He done pulled that thing out on one of them women, and they said, ah, you know, and he gone to jail again. So either that or getting caught with that wine. So I remember I ended up in the cell with him, man. I probably ended up in the cell with New York somewhere in the 2000s, early 2000s, when mid 2000s, when I went back to Greensville, and they put me in the cell with New York, man. And we had knew each other over the years, you know, through passing and whatever. We was always cordial or whatever, but it's different, you know what I'm saying? It's different when you in the cell with somebody, you know. And when I was in there with him, man, he was grinding, making that wine, but he was messing with them bras too, man. And he stayed messing with him, man. And dudes was telling me, man, you gotta watch that old boy up there, man. You know, he stay on that dope, man, gunning them bros, man. And I'm like, you know, what he do, that's him, you know what I'm saying? But you, that in that cell stuff and on that door, nah, I can't really be going for that, because they saying he be doing it at nighttime. So in nighttime, you know what I'm saying, I'm in there, I'm asleep, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm asleep and I wake up and your big 6 foot something at this door naked, man, it's gonna be some furniture moving up in here, man, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but he had a problem with that, man. I mean, a real, you know. And like I said, I don't knock dudes to do what they got to do, you know, you without a woman in there. But then you got some dudes that they take that stuff to the next level, man. I mean, they just, you know, they just do it everywhere, anywhere. It don't matter. When I say anywhere, I mean anywhere. You got dudes who do that, man. They will go to school programs and see a female and expose themselves. You got dudes that will go to church programs and expose themselves. You got dudes that will be on the yard and expose themselves. You got dudes that will see a female out the window and get up on the window. I mean, it's just, they sick with it, you know what I'm saying? And they was telling me that that's the type of time he was on. So, you know, but like I say, for the most part, you know, we had an understanding in that cell where I was coming from. He knew me, he respected me, and vice versa. But he did end up going to jail for gunning, but he won't in the cell. He was in the shower, and somebody, you know, one of them ladies that won't going for it, and boom, boom, he was gone, right? I had a cell in New York, man, that's out here right now, man. Shout out to New York, man, out here now. They used to, you know, call him New York, and then when I ran into him later, you know, he had moved from being called New York to being called G, you know, and he had another name as well too. I'm trying to think his other name because he became a 5%er. But this New York right here, I done spoke of him before, you know, in these videos. You know, he was my celly, very, very, very intelligent dude. He's one of the 2 dudes that I say I know that got out and came from up under six life sentences, you know, and yeah, he's smart though. I mean, he book smart, he's sharp, he's been out here probably, we was in re-entry together. When he got out, I moved in the cell with him for re-entry. And like I said, we had known each other for decades, and you know, from back on Mecklenburg and everything. So yeah, me and him go way back, man. But when I moved in the cell with him, you know, like I said, it's different you moving in the cell with somebody, but you know, we both in the cell with the understanding that we get ready to go home. But G is a G is a live wire, to say the least, man. If y'all go back to the Mecklenburg story, G, the one I told you, was arguing at that time about the poker game and stuff, and he just walked simply over there and dumped the weights off and grabbed the weight bar, was ready to get at it, man. And he done put that Bethlehem in some people, you know, over the years as well, man. G is, yeah, once he go, he gone. You know what I'm saying? He gonna hurt something, and he ain't playing no games. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, you got a lot of dudes from New York. That's their mentality, man. You know what I'm saying? They some serious cats, man. And New York fall under that category, man. He has to contain himself, man, because he will just snap all the way out. You know, whereas he go from 0 to 100. Once he at 100, he ain't trying to hurt nothing. He don't understand nothing. He just is. He see red, and he gonna draw some blood from you. You know. So yeah, man. But shout out to him, man. I'm glad he out here. He doing good, man. He started some non-profits. He got a juvenile prevention program going on. Youth prevention he doing this thing out here, man. So yeah, so we made it through that experience together by being in the cell, man. We never really had no problem. We coexist. We did a lot of talking, a lot of building, you know, talking about, you know, getting out here, because I think I did 33. I think G did 32. So, you know, and I recently ran into him at a program out here, man. So, yeah, shout out to him. But, yeah, he got out maybe like, I think like 40, 50, 60 some days before I did. So, yeah, man. So New York dudes, man, they like I say, they just a different breed, man. I done seen them, man, in all shapes, forms, you know. And like I say, you got the good, the bad, and you got the ugly. You got some of them, man. They you know, they just like everybody everywhere else. You got them dope fiend ones that they just want to get high. They want to get high, man, and their larceny is on another level when they on in that type of time. You know, they gonna lie, they gonna steal, they gonna cheat, they gonna scam, they gonna do all of that just to get what they gotta get. But at the same time, they gonna be ready to go to war because they know what the consequences is for what they do. But at the same time, they gonna still do it. You know what I'm saying? And let the chips fall where they may. But if you going at one of them New York cats, man, 9 times out of 10, you gonna have to be on your grind, man, and you gonna have to know what you're doing, because they gonna be serious, and it's gonna be a serious consequences that come behind, you know, any type of physical action, man. You know, and that's been the that's been the experience I done had with them. You know what I'm saying? That if they go, they going. You know what I'm saying? If they go, they going. But their lingo, man, their swag, and they old. Don't let me forget, they tried their best too, man. You can't tell none of them that they not the smoothest thing, man, since a can of oil, man. You know what I'm saying? These dudes would try to get at these women, and a lot of them cop. A lot of them pull them female COs, man. They get them female COs, man. You know, I don't know if it's, you know, is they swag, the way they talk, the way the mystique is to you know, coming from the female, that, oh yeah, he from New York, or he's a hustler, or yeah, I don't know what it is, but they get them girls, man. They get them girls, man. I remember I was with a dude, man, and he was from New York, man. What was his name? Oh, chubby old dude too. Man, the lady came there working, man. This dude, the New York that I'm talking about too, man, he probably was in his mid-20s, like 27, 26, 27, man. This lady came there probably like about late 30s, man, but she was a elegant, that's a big word for a prison seal. She was like an elegant, older, pretty woman, real pretty, man, and just got a job there, man, and why, I don't know. But she talked real refined and everything, like she had like some type of better career before she ended up there, and I don't know why she was, you know, would want to come there, but she did. And man, he ended up getting her, you know what I'm saying, which shocked everybody, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, she ended up, they ended up getting together, man, where she ended up, you know, quitting her job and everything, and, you know, formed a relationship with him, started coming seeing him and everything. You couldn't have seen that, man, with binoculars, you know what I'm saying. I couldn't have seen that with binoculars, but it happened, you know what I'm saying. And yeah, but over the years, them New York cats, they get with them girls, man, but I have seen them dudes spit that thing out, man, on a couple of different camps, though, man. I can't get past that, man. That is a talent within itself. You know, I seen a dude do it on the farm on Powhatan. You know, and this New York dude was an older cat, man. And when I say older at that time, I mean like he probably was like early 40s, you know, and lo and behold, man, he walking around with that thing in his mouth, you know, and he get to arguing with a dude in the day room one time, man, and he didn't even wait for the dude to swing on him. He was like, boom, because the words that was being passed between each other, calling each other outside their name, is already, you know, boom, boom, it's punch you in your mouth time anyway with the words that they were saying to each other, and he just did it so smooth, man. He was like, yeah, you right, man, you right, bam, and hit him, man. He hit this dude, and I guess he was trying to give him $150, but he caught him like right here. And when he caught him, man, I guess the force from what he hit him with, it slit his jaw open, man. And man, that joint looked so nasty, man. And it was so fast, and the dude is like, the opening in your mouth, man, probably about a half an inch of that was slit open. So it was like open, man. You could see his teeth. It was like, remind you of like the Joker junk, man. I'm like, man, you know, yeah, that was crazy, man. But he split and that stuff be bleeding, man. It be just blood just come everywhere when you get hit with that razor, man. And yeah, man, I always trust and believe me, man. When I was dealing with a New York cat, especially if it was any type of, you know, sideways where this stuff might go left, oh, you best believe I had eyes on them, man, like I had x-ray vision. I'm waiting for, if you even go to reach for your mouth, bang, you know what I'm saying? Because I seen it, you know what I'm saying? So I already had that in my consciousness. But yeah, man, he split his little junk wide open, man. It was crazy, you know. And dude couldn't do nothing. Dude just wanted to get the medical. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to get the medical, as he should. You know, because them razor cuts is vicious, man. And I never saw that dude again. So I always wondered what his thing was going to look like, you know, after because we get the worst medical treatment in prison as well, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't know what he was going to look like it was whatever you call it, like the skeleton joint or, yeah, man, but them razors are dangerous. Them New York cats will spit it out on you, and they will slice you, man, like you is some Swiss cheese, bro. Believe that, you know what I'm saying? I have seen it, man, and it would behoove you to it would behoove you even out here to take that in consideration when you are dealing with one of them New York, especially if they talking slow and low. Cause in my mind, I think they talking slow and low because they got that thing in their mouth like, hey yo, what's up, son? You know, it's like yeah, you got that? You got that, son? Okay, son. Yeah. You know, yeah, man, it's crazy, but yeah, man, they different, man. New York, man, shout out to New York, man. New York cats is a little different, man. And but for the most part in this system, man, the ones that I've been around, they hold their own. But just like everywhere else, you always gonna have exceptions to the rules. You know, I done ran across a few of them that, you know, was soft and scary, and I don't know how they got locked up, but yeah, they in there too. But that come from every city, you know what I'm saying? Every city you have those type. But we talking overall picture, man, in this Virginia system, man. Them New York cats, they get their respect. You know what I'm saying? They get their respect, you know, and they hold their own, man. But I've known many of them over the years, and shout out to everybody I known from New York too, man. You know, shout out for everybody I known from New York, man. What's the old boy name, man? One of them, I just talked to him recently too. He out here. His name. He can play basketball, man. He had a good game, but as far as like jumping, I never seen nobody jump that high in my life, man. I am not kidding you, man. Not even in the NBA, man. The dude jumped so high, man. I'm talking about, man, his head be like close to the rim. And, you know, that was his thing when dudes playing ball. They just throw it up, man. He just jump up there and boom, he gonna catch it and just dunk it, man, you know. So, yeah, he out here too recently, you know, because somebody put him in contact with me, called me one time and put him on the phone. But a lot of good cats I met in the system, man, from New York. Whole lot of them, man. And anyone of them see this, man, peace to all the New York cats, man. Peace to New York in general, man. New York is on one of my top demographics that watch me. So salute to all of y'all out there, man. Salute, big love to y'all out there in New York. I will most definitely try to get out there one day soon, man, and appreciate the love out there. But anyway, man, I just wanted to drop this video on y'all about New York, man. New York, you know what I'm saying, and you know, shine some light on what it's like in the system, man, to be from these other cities and be, you know, caught down in another city, man. I know it's, you know, it's a lot different, you know, and I'm quite sure, you know, the prison system up there, you know, they would have probably rather been up there, been around people that they know more of, you know what I'm saying, more of their culture and stuff like that. It's going to be more difficult for you anyway. You know, prison is difficult within itself, but it's going to be more difficult for you when you're not from that city because you're not going to know that many people. So you're going to have to, you know, make your mark, man, and take your respect, you know what I'm saying, and it may be a little bit more added to it, man, when you in a foreign city, man. So shout out to all the cities, man, that get caught up in this belly of the beast, and they in another people's city, man, and have to, you know, endure. So, you know, peace to all of them, man. Peace to all my brothers that's locked up, man, that's fighting this battle, man, this struggle, man. And like I said, man, it's a lesson in every blessing, man. It's a blessing in every lesson. And the blessing is, in this lesson, man, that, you know, you live and you learn, man. You live and you learn if you want to, because you can live and you don't learn and you just keep making the same mistakes over and over again. But when you see something, you should learn something and process it. From the time I saw somebody spit that razor out, I never was underestimate nobody, or I never knew that couldn't happen again. So I was aware. You know what I'm saying? I learned from that. I learned from everything that I seen in prison. I learned from everything that I experienced. I learned from everything that I watched someone else go through. And I think in a lot of ways that helped me get through that journey that I had to go through, man, for them 33 years. So, man, I'm thankful for that, man. And I think that's a lesson that could be applied out here on the street too, man. When you see something, learn from it, man. And this video is a prime example of it. All of my videos are a prime example of that. Learn from what prison is like so you won't even have to ever go. Let it deter you from ever wanting to be in there. Let it take your mindset away from prison and away from chaos and confusion out here, or doing anything that may have prison attached to it that will get you in prison. You know, let that be the lesson, man, the blessing in this lesson, man. And like I say, share these videos, pass them on, man. Give them to somebody who might need to hear them, if not yourself. If you don't, you know, pass that information on to somebody who might need to get that information in their ear, man. TBP Nation, man, we out here, man. We spreading the positive energy. We can't stop, won't stop. 2023, we going even harder. You heard me? We out here, and we ain't going nowhere, man. Peace and love. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions, man, and duck them hooks. And duck them razors.
Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.